Oilerslive Podcast. Oilerslive Podcast.
Hey, we're back. That one always kind of takes me by surprise. All right, what do we got here? Somebody's commenting as me. LA won't actually earn a wild card spot. They'll be an associate wild card team. Oh, that's Josh from Tough Call. Says LA is not going to earn an associate wild card team. I wonder what that's all about. Anyway, we'll see. All right, this segment, welcome back. We are here, Heavy Hockey at Night on edmontonsportstalk.com, and we're doing the NHL Season Preview. We've got, of course, Eric Friesen, senior editor at heavyhockey.com, Ryan Lotsberg, senior writer at heavyhockey.com, and my associate host, Dash in the Park, from heavyhockey.com. We're going to be talking about first teams, playoffs, and around the league. We're going to start with first coach fired and start with Dash.
My first coach fired will be DJ Smith of the Ottawa Senators. I just think he's had enough years to go here. They've got a solid core. They've got an improving team. It's very likely they're going to miss the playoffs again this year. And in order to miss the playoffs, that means you got to have an average to below average year. So I think for that to all come together, it's looking like it's going to be DJ Smith for me.
All right. DJ Smith, 3 years with the Ottawa Senators. Eric Friesen.
You know, I was debating going with Smith as well, but I'm going to say Derek Lalonde in Detroit. You know, this is a team that Steve Yzerman has been in control of for 4 seasons now. He's had Lalonde in there for a couple. I know that they are in a rebuilding stage, and it's like a similar situation what I talked about for the Sens earlier. There's so many top teams ahead of them that they just haven't been able to climb into that top 3 in the Atlantic. But when you look at them on paper, it's a team that's probably going to miss again, just being some, young, promising players ahead of them. And I just think that the expectations are finally going to get to them, and they'll say that Lalonde will be the first one ushered out.
All right.
Well, at least Lalonde could get back to being Gru and running the Minions again.
Yeah.
Lotsy.
Yeah, popular guy here. DJ Smith from Ottawa is my guy as well. He's the 6th longest tenured head coach in the NHL right now. Ottawa has not made the playoffs in any of those 6 years. You've got new ownership coming in with heightened expectations. They've just signed Vlad Tarasenko as a free agent. They went out and got Claude Giroux last year. You got Timmy Stützle, who's on the verge of 100 points. Like, you got lots of young talent there, similar to Buffalo, just a handful of young guys that are pushing it forward. I mean, they got Jake Chychrun last year too. That was a big trade for them. But all of us still have them missing the playoffs, myself included. So I think DJ Smith being the first one out, I think, is very reasonable.
Yeah, first one out. I'm going to go with Babcock.
Good one.
Retroactively going with Babcock?
Retroactively going with Babcock. No, I think those are good. Like, Smith is likely, only because I've been talking about LA. I think McClellan, it might be his time to go. And then the other sort of honorable mention might be Berube in St. Louis.
Yeah, he was going to be my honorable mention as well.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, and you know what? Any 3 of those guys are likely, but I'll take because I've been hammering on LA today. I'll take McClellan.
I'll throw Mike Sullivan. That was my pick last year, so let's maybe say he lasts 1 year longer in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and the hard part is like one of these teams has to do really crappy for the first part of the season, right?
Yeah.
And then they make the firing midway through. So that's kind of why, like, if LA does as poorly as I think they're going to do, I'm going to go with McClellan, because that's like so much is expected of them, right? And then McClellan's been there for what, 4 seasons now, so we'll see what happens there. All right, first coach fired. Now we're going to Eastern Conference playoff champs. And we're starting with Eric.
I kind of alluded to this already, but I'm going to go with Carolina Hurricanes reaching the final.
Okay. And Ryan.
I've got the New Jersey Devils reaching the final.
Wow.
Competitive with the Carolina Hurricanes in that Metro Division. I think they're going to go out and add a left-hand defenseman at the deadline. My prediction, Noah Hannafin from the struggling Calgary Flames. And I think they're going to go on a bit of a run.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think I'd probably go with your pick, Lotzi. I think the New Jersey Devils going to the conference, or to the Stanley Cup Finals from the East. I don't know. Year after year, I think Carolina's got just one of those teams that's like always the bridesmaid kind of team. And
they haven't won a conference final game in 4 trips.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And maybe this is their year, but I think New Jersey, and I was saying earlier that I was way off on Hughes last year, and this year I think he's going to prove himself even more. So I will take the New Jersey Devils. Dash.
This is maybe one of the ones I fought with the most, to be honest. It's the one I've got the most scribbles beside in my entire list. So whatever that means. But at a time I had Florida written in there. I think they had a chance. I know you guys are down on them this year, but I do think that they've got an excellent team built the right way. Like I said, President's Trophy winner 2 years ago, Cup finalist last year. They should have Montour, Ekblad, and potentially Tkachuk rested. If they're only playing half of a season and going into the playoffs strong, they know what it takes to get there. That said, I scribbled it out. Then I wrote down Carolina, and then I scribbled that out. And then I wrote down New Jersey, and then I scribbled that out, and then I wrote down Carolina again. So I think it's going to be Carolina, and I might even change this on the fly. No, I won't. I think it's going to be Carolina. I just think they've done it. They've got close enough. They've had a taste of it. My fear in this and my caveat is that I think they're an analytics-built team, and analytics-built teams don't always get far in the playoffs, as Toronto and others have shown. So I think it's going to be Carolina and Edmonton.
All right. Well, that brings us to the Western Conference playoff champs. Which
Edmonton.
Maybe we'll start with Dash.
No, you were going to anyways.
We were going to start with Lotzi, but we'll do Dash, Lotzi, me, and then Eric. Go ahead. So
all
Dash,
right, my bad. I thought you were going to go in reverse order, so I didn't think I was slipping the gun. But yeah, let's take our homegrown and rose-colored glasses on and our homerisms and throw it all at the wall and hope that the Oilers have their year and get to be the Western Conference champions and get to the finals this year.
All right. Lotzi.
Yeah, homerism all the way. Let's go Oilers. They're going to be in the Cup final against the New Jersey Devils this year.
All right. Me, I mean, this is maybe the worst one to do because, like, it's just silly if any of us pick otherwise. I'm going with the Oilers in the West to play the New Jersey Devils in the final. Eric Friesen, are we going to make it 4-for-4?
Yeah, I do have the Oilers getting in, and I am a very optimistic, positive Oilers fan, and I do think that they will get to the final. But what gives me a lot of encouragement is that the Oilers are not just viewed as a contender within oil country, but they're considered a legitimate Stanley favorite from many industry experts. So when you're starting to see media members from outside of Edmonton picking this team to win, I don't think it can be just called a homer pick. I really think that the Oilers at this stage of their development, with where Draisaitl are in their careers, with the upgrades that they've made to the roster, I just believe that this is the time that they will finally get over the hump and get back to the Stanley Cup final, and we'll get that rematch 18 years later between the Oilers and the Hurricanes.
Yeah, Oilers and Hurricanes. All right. In this one, we're just going to go around quickly on. We'll start with me. Stanley Cup champs for the 2024 NHL season. Start with me. I will take the Oilers returning to glory for the Stanley Cup. Dash.
All right. You know what? I'm going back. I'm changing my East Championship pick. I can't Carolina. I just can't do it. I said the analytics thing, and then I just convinced myself. I'm going back to Florida. It's the team I wrote down first. And fuck you guys, I really hate to say this, but the Florida Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup this year.
All right.
The
Mr.
Oilers
Friesen.
get close, and eventually lose to the eventual Cup winners for the third straight year before winning the Cup next year.
All right. Eric?
Well, Kachuk can't win a cup for McDavid, and he certainly can't win a cup against McDavid, so I can't get on board with that pick. I'm going to go with Edmonton taking the cup over Carolina in 6 games, because Carolina will be the team with home ice advantage, so the Oilers will finish it off 4-2 on home ice at Rogers Place, Game 6.
All right. Lotsy.
I know Ryan's pick, too.
No, the Edmonton Oilers would be favored in pretty much any series that they would enter in the Cup Finals. Leon Draisaitl is angry. Connor McDavid is angry. They've added Matthias Ekholm. They've added Connor Brown to complete their top 6. However, being the Oilers fan that I am, I can't sit here and look a camera in the eye and be the guy that jinxes my boys.
Fair.
So I'm taking the New Jersey Devils to beat the Edmonton Oilers only because I don't want to jinx my team.
All right. No, that's fair. All good. So we're pretty much even on that one. So I don't know if we've jinxed them or if we've allowed them to get to the promised land, but we all know what we want. Maybe we should have asked the question is, who do we want to win the Stanley Cup this year? Let's move on to the President's Trophy. We're going to start with Dash on this one. Dash, for the President's Trophy, who do you got winning this year?
I've been kind of sneaking and alluding to this the entire episode, to be honest, but I really think that that's where the trajectory is headed. It pains me to say it. Those, early 2000 demons hopefully will still be slayed, but I got the Dallas Stars coming in as the President's Trophy winner. I just honestly think that they're built the right way, and they just have so much depth. Adding Duchesne to an already potent top 6 in Ben and Sagan and Rupe and Jason Robertson and those guys, not to mention the Vezina and Norris candidates on the back end. They went from 98 points 2 years ago to 108 points last year, and I see no reason they can't get higher than that again this year. So as much as I hate to say it, Dallas Stars will be the President's Trophy winners, but then suffered from the curse. So good for them.
Eric, who do you got as the President's Trophy winners for?
Well, I've kind of already mentioned it, but I think that the Oilers are finishing first in the West and Carolina's finishing first in the East. And since I said the Oilers are going to lose are going to win in Game 6 as the team who doesn't have home ice advantage, that almost by default makes Carolina the President's Trophy winners.
All right. President's Trophy to Carolina. So we've got one for Dallas, one for Carolina. Lotsy.
So once again, I think the Edmonton Oilers are the best team in the league, but I can't do that to my boys. So I think Carolina is really deep. I think their defense is elite. When healthy, their goaltending is elite. So I've got the Carolina Hurricanes winning the President's Trophy.
Surprised nobody's got the Leafs up there yet.
I was thinking the President's Trophy will come from the East. I had Toronto number 1 out of the Atlantic and New Jersey number 2 out of the Metro. So I'll take New Jersey because I just don't think Toronto would do it. And not to mention, I hate the even thought of Toronto winning the President's Trophy. We just never.
I don't think they have the defense for it. I think you're right, but
But I think New Jersey is a safe go, and I keep going back to them. Between them and Carolina, though, they should be the cream of the crop in the East anyway. So safe bet going with New Jersey. All right. Now we're getting into the fun part, individual trophies. We'll finish off this segment. Try to get through these as quick as we can. We're going to do the Hart, the Bing, the Vezina, Calder, Art Ross, Norris, Jack Adams, Selke, and Richard. So all of them, we can just kind of fly through them as we can. We'll start with Eric. Let's start with the Hart Trophy. This one.
Got Connor McDavid winning his 4th, and that will tie him with Eddie Shore for the 3rd most in NHL history. So got him there, and I think he should have more than 4 already, but I don't see anyone taking it away from him at this point.
All right, Lotsy.
Michael, let's keep it. Let's do all the trophies at once, so we don't have to bounce around.
Okay.
Why doesn't Eric just do all his trophy winners?
Yeah. Hart, Lady Bing.
Well, I mean, if you want me to just make the same 4 trophies that McDavid won last year, he's going to win all 4 of those again. He's taking home the Art Ross Trophy. He'll probably win it by 25 points at least. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets over 30. I've got him winning the Hart again, the Ted Lindsay, and I got him taking home the Rocket again. And as for the other trophies, Jack Hughes, I think he'll get the Lady Bing, with his combination of scoring and minimal penalty minutes. There were 2 years ago, he didn't have a single penalty. Last year, I think he was only at 10 PIMs. I'll say he gets the Bing. This one, the Vezina, I was going kind of back and forth on. I was thinking Shesterkin for a while, but I'm going to go with Jake Ottinger taking that home. Being on a strong Dallas team, I think that he'll end up grabbing the Vezina. I'll say Bedard, obviously, for the Calder. I think that's probably the easiest pick outside of any of the ones that I just had for McDavid. I'll go Cale Makar taking the Norris, his 2nd one in 3 years. And they can call this a homer pick if they want, but I mean, thinking of where the Oilers are going to finish in the standings, I'll say Jay Woodcroft gets the Jack Adams. And Anze Kopitar's game hasn't seemed to dip off as much as we thought at his age, and I think that he'll grab another Selke trophy.
All right. Okay, I think we got them all there. Yeah. You got Vezina. Yeah. All right. Lotsy.
All right. So I've got Connor McDavid winning the Hart Trophy. It's his until somebody wrestles it away from him. I also have Jack Hughes winning the Lady Bing. I think he could have easily won it last year. He had 2 more penalty minutes than Kopitar, but several more points. So Kopitar could win it just because he's the veteran and the favorite, but Hughes is the more deserving player, in my opinion. I've also got Ottinger from the Stars for the Vezina. I think Dallas is going to win that Central Division, and they're going to be a very strong defensive team. The Calder, the not-so-obvious choice, Logan Cooley, just doing some absolutely dirty things in the preseason. This is what he's doing with his skating, his footwork, his edge work, just another level in deception. So I think he's going to have a big year in Arizona. Art Ross, McDavid, clearly. Norris, there have been 8 consecutive unique winners of the Norris Trophy. So I'm going to go Rasmus Dahlin this year to win his first Norris Trophy. Jack Adams, I've got Jay Woodcroft. He's already implemented a brand new neutral zone system. He's implemented a brand new defensive zone system, and I think that's going to vault the Oilers to a division championship. I've got Mark Stone for the Selke. And the Rocket Richard is going to go to an Oiler, but it's going to be Leon Draisaitl, who I've got him at 66 goals, breaking the salary cap era for single season goals. The record in the salary cap era for goals in a single season was 66.
Love that prediction.
Yeah, those are all pretty good. Okay, Hart, obviously, Connor McDavid, Lady Bing. I've been talking about him all night. Hughes, we're pretty much all in agreement on that. Richard, I think Jeff Ade's going to be happy with this episode. I'll take Tage for the Richard. I just don't think the Oilers care about it as much this year, and both those guys will even out their goals. Vezina, you know what? I'll go with Hellebuck. I think if the Jets get to the playoffs in a wild card spot, it'll be largely on the back of Hellebuck there. Calder, Cooley, I didn't see that coming. I got to go with Bedard. He looked too good tonight. Like he might only had 1 point, but he's going to be a hell of a player this year, and he's going to shine in a team that needs a player to shine. So he's going to look even better than that. Art Ross, McDavid, without saying. Norris, if he's healthy, it's got to be Cale Makar. He's just too good. Jack Adams, well, I've been talking about New Jersey all night, so I'll do Lindy Ruff. I just kind of think like Woodcroft will suffer from the McDavid thing, right? Like having McDavid and Draisaitl, and people won't give him the credit he deserves, right? And that's just it. I think he's perfectly deserving of it, but I do think if New Jersey does as well as I think they're going to do, Ruff will get that. Selke, did anybody say Cooch? Yeah, Eric, you said, yeah, that's probably good. I think for the Selke. Selke's always a hard one, but yeah.
Harder this year because Tues Bergeron's gone.
Yeah, that's the torch.
That's the thing. It's a little bit more open this year for sure. All right, Dash, you're up.
All right. I've got our Lord and Savior, Connor McDavid, in the Hart and Art Ross spot, like most of us do. But that's where I've got it ending for Connor. I'll give him the Lindsay as well, because some of us mentioned, some of us didn't, and generally whoever gets the Hart gets the Lindsay. But McDavid will be my pick for the Hart Trophy for the next 8 of these that we do, and that'll never change. I've also got Jack Hughes for my Lady Bing, and I thought that might have been a bit of a sleeper pick, but now that you guys are throwing stats around, I realize it probably isn't, and I just think that he's made enough progression in his career that he deserves a trophy at some point in time, and it's got the potential to be a top 5 to top 3 scorer in the NHL this year. So when you put up those types of offensive numbers, you deserve something there. I also thought I'd be a bit off the board for my Vezina pick with Jake Ottinger, but you guys were all over that as well. It went along with my Dallas Stars President's Trophy pick, as does my Coach of the Year selection for the Jack Adams, which is Peter DeBoer. I think he's been in and around it for the last 4 or 5 years, and after doing the San Jose and Las Vegas Knights dance, I think he got a little bit of the crap end of the stick, and now has a chance with an excellent team in front of him. Calder, Connor Bedard's got all the talent in the world. If he plays 82 games, I do think it's his. That said, whoever we think is going to win the Calder, very, very, very rarely wins the Calder.
I was counting 5 times. 5 times in the salary cap era, the number 1 overall pick from the previous year won the Calder, and none of those were named Connor McDavid or Sidney Crosby.
None of those. That's right.
Yeah. When you think about it that way, 100% right. Yeah.
For sure. So when I do think about it that way, and I have thought about it that way, I unfortunately see Bedard running into some struggles with his size and foot speed in this day and age of the NHL, and potentially running into a bit of injury trouble until he figures it out. Just kind of similar to what McDavid did, even though his was a freak injury. I just think that he's going to have some bumps and bruises along the way. and a kid that won't have any bumps and bruises because he's a literal giant at 18 years old and a man is Fantilli. I like where he's positioned in Columbus. I think Columbus has an opportunity to score some goals, whether they finish well or not, who knows. But he's the number one center that Columbus always wanted. He's going to have either Goudreau or Laine on his line or both. He's going to have first line power play opportunities. He's durable. I believe he'll play 80 to 82 games. And given that, squeak out a very, very strong Calder race. I think this will be one of the closest Calder races that we'll have seen in a long, long time. There's a few guys that could creep into this. Honorable mention even maybe to the third Hughes in the league over in New Jersey. I think he's got a shot too. That all said, where did I leave off? The Norris Trophy, I had the same note written down that it's been a new person 8 times in a row, but I had the opposite opinion of Lotsi's. I think it's time we finally see a repeat winner. I did have Makar written down and I scratched it out. I think it's going to be Adam Fox. There's just that Eastern bias. He's going to have probably a pretty similar year. And Makar seems to always run into a little bit of injury problems there. So like I said, for the Adams, I got DeBoer, Selke. That Eastern media's got to give a trophy to Toronto Maple Leaf every year, it seems, or something. So I actually had Matthews written down until I went and looked. Matthews led NHL forwards in blocked shots last year, which shocked me a little bit. But then when I went and looked at last year's Selke voting, I realized that Mitch Marner was right up in there as well. So I'm going to go with Mitch Marner for my Selke winner. Because Matthews gets my Rocket Richard winner. I completely agree with Michael in saying that the Oilers just don't care anymore. I think they're more than happy if 4 guys get 50 instead of 2 guys getting 60. I wouldn't be upset if Draisaitl got 65, and I think he's 66, Lotzie, and I think he's got the capability to do it. I just hope they have a better commitment to defense and a better commitment to team. And as a result, they both end up in the 50s, which is just fine by me. Matthews gets his ego in the way and goes back after. And Matthews maybe even approaches 70 this year. The only thing I want to say on top of all of that is it's funny how Lindy Ruff becomes a Jack Adams finalist this year after what he did last year. And let's not forget that the New Jersey Devils season started last year with the first game of them chanting in the stands, "Fire Lindy."
Yeah.
All right.
The
This
Flames
is,
love last year, Dash, and the Leafs love this year. You think you know a person.
Yeah. So we have enough time to talk about the Oilers in the last segment. This is Oilers Live from the Heavy Hockey Network. Proud to be a friend of Edmonton Sports Talk. We'll be right back. And when we come back, we'll be talking all Oilers for the final segment of tonight's season preview. See you shortly.